Alrighty, so we've got a quick update in the official Discord from Twinbeard for Helldivers 2, explaining some of the changes that weren't listed in the patch notes, such as the HMG durable damage nerf, and some other things. There was also a patch this morning, but really all it was for crash fixes, as well as miscellaneous fixes, so you could just pause the video and read these if you'd like. I'm not going to do that. There actually was a couple cool things in here, though, like the scout the rocket striders, if we're being honest, not being damaged from gas or flamethrowers. And what's great about this is I actually have a flamethrower versus automatons video coming out tomorrow, but now I'm gonna have to re-record this and do it again. And then just another little funny note here: General Bresh was promoted to Super 10-star General after the latest personal shield generator confusion. But yeah, just pause the video, read it if you want to know about these. What we're going to be talking about is some of the stealth changes. So just a quick thing, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. We got plenty of Helldivers 2 stuff, and we'll be looking at the Space Marines update next month. So if you play that game as well, be sure to subscribe. All right, so Twinbeard says, "Hey divers, regarding the frequently asked questions about intended changes or stealth nerfs, my esteemed colleague Omniville and I dug around and managed to find some more info on this. Excuse me. As you know, there were a lot of changes in this patch. That means the risk of some hits and miss will inevitably increase. Some of these are things we failed to mention in the patch notes, some are intentional, some are poorly explained, and one or two things were changed unintentionally. Also, remember that all things in the game are subject to change and never set in stone. As always, holler back with your thoughts on these. All feedback is greatly appreciated." And I appreciate this as well because, like, you know, there is some stuff that's intentional, unintentional. They've also told us that they're going to take feedback for the last 60-day plan patch. Like the big patch we got was not the only one of the 60-day plan. Well, we'll see when it comes out, but they mentioned they're going to be doing a follow-up patch on this. And they are taking feedback on it. So first up is the HMG getting its durable damage nerf down to 35. This one was intentional, but wasn't in the patch notes. Now, this one, I suppose, it makes sense to me, but it also doesn't make sense. The reason why it can make sense is because the HMG is AP4, and they nerfed all the bugs to AP4. So now the HMG can damage Bile Titans, Chargers directly, and Impalers directly. So I get why they might want to decrease it a bit, because it does have the highest DPS in the game. Now, at the same time, I've been asking for magazine buffs to HMG because it has very, very little amounts of ammo. And it also doesn't benefit from, like, superior packaging methodology, for example. So I would be more okay with this if they gave us 2 spare mags. I even think the grenade launcher needs a 4th magazine. Pretty much I think every weapon should have 4 magazines because that makes more sense with superior packaging methodology. And I don't like the whole like lack of ammo thing. And I just feel like wearing a supply pack to make a support weapon work is a little bit lame. Because I would like to bring other backpacks with it. Okay, is that just me? All right, so the Railgun, the armor pierce bonus removed from overcharging no longer climbs to AP7. Yeah, this wasn't in the patch notes. I realized this when it wasn't damaging tanks from the front. And they say this was intentional, and if so, we forgot to add it in the patch notes. The reasoning behind this was not to make the Railgun too good versus tanks and factory striders. However, armor on tanks front getting changed didn't jam with that change. We still didn't want the Railgun to bounce off of front armor, so we need to take a look at this. Now, what's crazy about this is I actually think that this is a good change, because the durable damage that Railgun can get now is up to 560 or something, isn't it? At a 90% charge. And I was thinking that was going to be insane, but then I realized once playing with it that it only goes to AP5 rather than AP7. So I was actually okay with this change, and I am also okay with it not damaging tanks from the front, but I do think they need to take a look at that front tank armor because it does mess with some other breakpoints. I mean, the Railgun's insanely powerful. Any of you guys playing with it right now, like, you got to admit, it's very, very strong. So, like, this change is fine. I guess if they take a look at it, it is what it is. Anti-tank mines, damage reduced from 1,000 down to 800. The explosion radius increase. Stagger force increase from 30 to 50. Demolition force increased from 30 to 40. This was intended, but was missing in the patch notes. One other thing Twinbeard forgot here is the anti-tank mines now come out very spread apart. Now, I have used anti-tank mines. They kill chargers very, very fast. The real issue with anti-tank mines, which they also have acknowledged, is that they set off on small enemies. So I don't know when this will happen, but I'm pretty sure either Twinbeard or Pilestet acknowledged this and said that they'll be looking to do this, hopefully in the future. I swear I read messages from Pilestet about that. Once that happens, then the anti-tank mines will be really good. But currently, they spread out a lot further. So when one goes off, the whole field doesn't go off. And they kill chargers really well right now. So if you like anti-tank mines, they actually are decent right now. It's just that they're setting off on small enemies, and none of that's in the patch notes anyway. All right, laser cannon does not cool down faster despite what is stated in the patch notes. This was something we were doing at first, but later removed it and simply missed addressing it in the patch notes. I hope they re-add this. It sounds like this was intentional, but I hope they re-add this to the laser cannon because, in my opinion, the laser cannon's not an overly powerful weapon. It's definitely really good. It's good against bots. It's probably better against bots than it is bugs, and it is really fun against bugs. But this weapon, like, doesn't have any stagger because it's a laser, and it's strong, but it's not like some... It's not better than most of the support weapons, in my opinion. I think it should cool down very, very fast. So that way you can keep long... Because you do need, like, multiple seconds of beaming an enemy with this support weapon. And it doesn't have any stagger. And it takes a continuous beam to kill things. So, honestly, I do think it should cool down faster. Guard Dog Rover sets targets on fire faster. This was intended. Guys, I gotta put a PSA out there. Start taking the Guard Dog Liberator because this thing kills Helldivers so fast. Test out the Guard Dog Liberator a couple games. See if you guys like it. I know it does less damage than this Rover, if we're being honest. But dude, I have been dying to Labyrinth's Guard Dog Rover. Okay, Labyrinth, shout out to you. So much this patch. It's cool. It is what it is. But they literally made it stronger. Fire dot damage. Durable damage increased from 25 to 50. This is actually something I asked for, and this is really cool. I would like them to make fire dot AP 5 so that we can damage tanks with it. For realism reasons, obviously. Because, you know, tanks were taken down by Molotovs and Napalm during World War II. So I would like them to make it AP 5. They said, yep, you guessed it. This is intentional and was missing from the patch notes. We'll look at this to see if it should be kept as is or not. It did make the Incendiary Breaker and Cookout better as well, which, as we know, are two appreciated weapons. Okay, yeah, that's a really cool note. Oh, and then something I definitely noticed, but I like wasn't 100% sure of this. The Hellpod impact damage increased from 200 to 2,500. So now our Hellpods are basically thermite, by the way. So now you can be the stratagem. I noticed this because sometimes when my friends call me in, I'll land on a tank and kill it. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? I swear I didn't used to kill those last patch. This is intentional and a part of the damage scaling that we mentioned in the patch notes. We didn't convey this very clearly, but because we increased heavy enemies' health, we needed to increase the Hellpod damage so it would still be able to kill them. And then a quick note, for the fire Hellpods, we missed increasing the damage of that one. So that's pretty cool. The fire Hellpods are pretty mid. Yeah, all right, that's all pretty cool. Now, what I'll say is the only weird one on here is HMG. If they gave this thing 2 spare magazines, I would be cool with this. But given that they didn't, this is just a weird change to me. I really don't mind this too much, if I'm being honest with you guys, but I just want the HMG to have 2 more spare mags. Because, again, it's just weird. It doesn't benefit from superior packaging methodology. Another thing I'll say, in terms of, like, stealth nerfs, a lot of times what happens in games is the community managers post the patch notes. So sometimes things just don't get, you know, sent to them, and some things get left out, and sometimes there's unintentional changes. So I definitely appreciate this follow-up from Twinbeard. I hope you guys can appreciate this as well, because I already know people go crazy with the stealth nerfs and stuff like that. Same with the HMG. And another thing is a lot of people have been saying when they use HMG that it still is very good, but they have noticed longer charger kills on like the butt and whatnot. I mean, I don't think HMG was one of the most overly powerful support weapons because it does have a relatively small magazine for a machine gun, and it only has 2 spare mags. Like, I don't know. I do think they should buff the HMG with the magazine capacity. I also don't think the 50 durable damage was crazy, especially given that they skilled up. You know, you can see right here, they skilled up the health of heavy enemies. So this is the only one I think that is weird, but if they were to give this thing 2 magazines, I'd be cool with it. And the rest of this, it is what it is. If you guys enjoyed this video, that's pretty much it. I've made another feedback document and sent it over to them because, like I said, they did say they were going to do a follow-up patch. The end of the 60 days, so the start of the 60-day message was on August 13th, so the end of the 60 days should be October 13th, so that's pretty much when I'm expecting the next patch. Maybe it'll be a little bit later, maybe it'll be a little bit earlier. And we got messages from Pilestat saying they're buffing the Purifier. If you haven't heard about that, it's going to shoot as fast as the Scorcher, but charge up to do more damage. And we're getting buffs to the jetpack. So hopefully we could jump around like madmen, because in my opinion, jetpack's just one of the most fun stratagems. And I'm sure we'll see more buffs, or probably some nerfs, in the next patch as well. And honestly, yeah, I can't wait for the next patch because I've been having a lot of fun with this one. So, I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.